All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. I am back. So is Brent Wright. This is Blair Armstrong from Team Armstrong in beautiful Indian Wells, California. And on my right, maybe your left, whatever, most likely it's going to be your right. I have Brent Wright in gorgeous Eugene, Oregon. How is your world today?
Well, it's about 55 degrees and mostly cloudy. We've had some rain. So
I wish, dude, I'm telling you right now, I wish I had that. I thought I would never, ever say that because that's one of the reasons why I moved to the desert is not to have rain. And I am hankering for some rain right now. So
yeah,
you're doing good though, besides that?
yeah.
Monday?
You can't have you can't have sunny days without the rain, right? So
Right, for sure.
Yep.
Hey guys, I know last week that we left off last week just off a little, we got frozen up on our stuff over here. So with that being said, when we left off last week, Breck was talking about, have you sacrificed your standards? And when you look in the mirror, are the standards that you built your career with and who you are, built your marriage with, built your relationships with, whatever those are, when you look in your mirror now, are those still your standards? And it was kind of a good wake-up call when you left that, man. I appreciate that because now, it's funny. We can look in the mirror and do I look okay? But bottom line is, am I looking into my soul? What I took out of that is basically, am I looking at my soul? And have I sacrificed some of the things that got me to where I am today?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a hard part to do that. So, kind of being with that, again, talking to the people that are a little bit more seasoned in life, and we're creating leaders for the younger generation, which really doesn't have any leadership right now. But what are some of the things that when you're looking in the mirror, what are you asking yourself? You mentioned this too, and I want to go back to that just in case we miss, some of the people, actually a lot of people have watched our episodes so far, but just in case the people met that, you said something about creating a list of standards. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us that don't have that list. How did you come up with that? And what is some of the good ways to easy to do it? Like, oh, here's just another list. But this could be one of the most important lists that we have out there.
Yeah. So a lot of people call them core values. One of my clients calls them guiding principles because they didn't like the negative tone that core values. Everybody has these core values on their website, posted somewhere in their office. It's something that you do as part of your corporate organization. Very few people take those home and put them on their wall or put them on their mirror in their bathroom and really study them, really look at them, really live by them. I mean, if you can't take 5 minutes, really look at yourself in the mirror and reflect and look at those standards, look at those core values, those guiding principles, whatever you want to call them, things you live by, then you have issues and you probably need to do that. I, in the past, have done that and didn't like what I saw and made changes and adjustments accordingly. Mm-hmm. So this isn't us passing judgment on you. This isn't us passing judgment on your life or your choices or your thoughts or your processes. This is us sharing where we have gone wrong and the things that we've done to get back to where we could look at ourselves in the mirror. Right. That's a tough road. It's a tough road.
Yeah, it is. And it's. I think that again, we go back to complacency for so much. We've accomplished so much over our lives, and it's very easy. It's like, it's like, again, we brought it up multiple times, but this Uncle Rico, like I kind of did my stuff. If I could go back, I wouldn't state, right, the Uncle Rico thing. But going back to, I think I really love what you're saying here. Is a lot of us have become complacent, or we become tired, or it's like it's just not my fight anymore. And the whole reason behind this podcast, to reiterate that again too, is that we need you guys to fight. It is what it is, we keep complaining. It's very easy to sit around a nice table in a nice restaurant and talk about how bad it is, but when we're sitting there not doing anything, that's the thing. And again, what Brent just said is we're not calling anybody out. This is a call to arms to us as well. And we're trying to, and doing this podcast to me, dude, I'll straight up tell you, it's changed my thought process.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what I'm doing out in the streets. I'm looking at, how I'm acting out in those different things. Am I better at home? Am I a better husband? Am I a better father? Am I a better, we have a team here, but I'm not really a boss, but am I a better leader? Those are some of the things I have to look up to is if I'm going to sit here, just the same thing as you running a multi companies with multi employees, we got to keep ourselves in check.
Yeah.
Right. So it's tough. And so I think what, I know what Brendan is saying is it's like, you're never too old to create a list. And if one person can follow it, right?
Yeah. 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 Either that or we're all going to end up like Al Bundy sitting on the couch with our hand in our pants, pissed off at the world because it gave us a bad lot, right?
Yeah.
And I know I can use that reference here and people get that.
Yeah, I just totally get it, man. It's just so true. And so what are some of those other things, Brent? And I saw this the other day, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. Sometimes I spend too much time, actually, not sometimes, but a lot of times I spend too much time surfing Instagram reels and stuff like that. But they were playing a song by Bruce Springsteen, Streets of Philadelphia, of what's going on there with the fentanyl crisis. And there's more than just Philadelphia. And those are pockets, and I get it. But isn't that really what we're talking about here? Is those guys at some point in time were doing pretty good in life.
Yeah.
They weren't born that way. So what are some of the things that it will never happen to me syndrome? I would never go down that road. I'm always in control. How quick is that to go away and be that guy at the bus station or on the street, nodding over, losing everything?
Super quick. It's super quick. You just one little slip off of your standards, one little slip off of your guiding principles, your core values. One little slip is all it takes to end up in that spot. I ended up there. Yeah. It wasn't drugs or alcohol or anything like that, but I was homeless. And so it's one little thing, one little decision that you make, one little not saying the right thing to one person gets you there. So you have to be a person of action, and you have to watch your actions, and you have to be ready to apologize for your actions.
How big is that right there, what you just said? Apologizing for your actions. What was that? What was that light bulb moment for you when you learned to do that, because you were so independent for so long, and then you had some responsibilities come on later in life for most of us, just different timing for you, but it was your timing, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden you had to be accountable to somebody else, multiple people underneath your roof. How hard was that transaction to suck it up and go back and apologize?
The only way that you get there is to do that. I mean, tough or not, it's the tough actions that get you to the prize, right? Okay. Nothing good ever came easy. You've heard that saying 1,000 times, right? And so, it's tough. It's a tough road. It pays the bills though, right? So it's the bill that comes due that you have to pay, that you can't get out of, unless you want to make that one decision that changes your whole structure, changes your whole life, right, for the bad.
Yeah, and I think too, for me, I've got to look at, because I always feel that we're in now with social media and doing what we're doing here, and just being in a real estate world and whatever, we're under a microscope, and someone may not say something to you, but you're planting that seed, good or bad. And so that's when Brent and I put this together, we wanted to plant seeds because we feel that this is a time, as we've said multiple times, that we need that wisdom. We need the 45-year-old wisdom. We need the 65-year-old wisdom. We need the 75-year-old wisdom, because we don't have any leadership. And this is what we have, is going back to, is everyone compromise their standards. Everyone's done it. I've done it. Brent's done it. Multiple people that have watched it. We've compromised just to be accepted, which we hit a little bit on our last episode. And now we got to this point, is now we're mad at where we got. And at the end of the day, it's kind of our fault.
Yep.
You know, and that's not something I'm laughing sarcastically a little bit, but realistically, it's the truth.
Yep.
Got it back into this spot. Is like, okay, hey, it's not that big a deal. It's on them. I'm just not going to say anything. Prayer in schools, not saying a Pledge of Allegiance anymore. That was one of my favorite things when I was in school.
Yep.
And we compromise standards, and now we go ahead and we're supposed to be proud. Again, it's pointing fingers back at us, right? You know, you point somebody at somebody, you got four fingers pointing back at you. So those are some of the things we do.
I'll tell you a story about the Pledge of Allegiance and compromising your standards, right?
Please.
So this flag right here, right behind me, I hang that on my wall as a symbol of what I believe in, right? Those colors don't run. They stay true, always in my life. I've always believed in them, and I always will. Land of opportunity, land of the free, home of the brave. I got asked by somebody that I was going to do a presentation for if I would take that flag down. And I said no. I will not take that flag down, or I won't do your presentation. If that flag is offensive to you, that's a you problem. That's my standard.
Standard, for sure.
I will not take that flag down. Right? That flag gives me the opportunity to be a screw up, to be a success, to fix myself, to live in my truck if I want to.
Yeah.
To not live in my truck if I don't want to.
Right.
I'm not taking that flag down.
And that's where we got to go. It's a little bit of a punching. And there again is that, you know, whoever, for all our subscribers and the people that watch this video, is that your standard? Would you do the same thing? Is your presentation and your business important enough to you to keep your standards, to not compromise?
Yep. And you don't have to do it in an adversarial way.
No.
I mean, our conversation was, this is a standard that I live by. I'm not willing to compromise those standards. If you still want me to present for you, I'm happy to do so. But it's going to be with this flag in the background.
Yeah.
Period.
I think too, you know, Brent, and fill me in on this, is it's okay that we're not liked by everyone. We want to be liked by everyone. We want to have a community, and I think it's important. But right now, is we understand that we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's going to be okay. But that's why God made us so diverse, right? We have to figure out how to live together. That is true. I'm not saying to completely ostracize people who don't believe in you, but just to fit in for 2 seconds to kind of, is it really worth it?
There is a perfect example of this. There's a Elon Musk interview, and he is asked if he's willing to compromise his standards. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. If he's willing to compromise his standards for the people that are buying his Teslas and the people that are subscribing to his subscriptions and things like that. And he took a little bit during that interview, and it was quiet. And he thought about it, and he came back with a quote from The Princess Bride. And I don't know The Princess Bride, but I love the interview with him. He says, "I just don't care."
Yeah.
And he's not going to sacrifice his standards because he just doesn't care to sacrifice his standards.
How hard is that, though, now with the people our age? And feeling that we feel we have to be on the right or the left. and there's no
Oh,
middle.
dude, it's super hard. Like we had technical difficulties last week, right? We don't
Right?
want to have technical difficulties. We don't want to fit in. We
No.
want everybody to think everything that we do is perfect, and it's not, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's just it is what it is. And so, we owned it.
Yeah.
Yep. Blair, you there? Blair, you gone? Right?
The funny thing is, dude, I look back at the video. I was still filming myself, and you're talking. I just
Yeah.
it was frozen.
Yep.
I literally had whatever the frozen character on my screen. So,
But this is the point, right? We're making fun of ourselves. We're
right.
owning it. We're working through it, right? And it's okay.
Amen.
You don't have to be embarrassed about when something happens or you make a mistake or whatever. Just own it and be happy that it happened for you instead of to you.
Amen.
Right? So,
Amen. Amen. So, ending this side of it right now, or this topic that we're talking about, standards, going back, and I know we talked about go ahead and just writing stuff down and maybe hanging on a mirror. What are some of the other things that we could be doing, no matter what our journey in life that we're on right now, or whatever path of life that we're on? Again, what are some of the things that we could be doing to regain our standards and help others see those standards and help them gain their standards or regain their standards back, and kind of put this back together, that we could come back to that stuff that we grew up on?
so define your standards, whatever they are.
Okay.
Live by them. Show people that you live by them. Get them engaged to live by them. Either define their own standards or follow yours. I'm a big fan of engaging all of the folks that I engage with on a daily basis, my customers, my vendors, my employees, myself, to utilize our core values that are hanging on the wall. So when a customer is being unreasonable, it's Mr. Customer. I live by a set of standards of a set of core values. They're right hanging on the wall right there. I would appreciate if we engage in a way that follows those core values. You might not be aware of them. You might not live by them. But this is how our conversation is going to go based upon these core values. Let's work through those. Let's work from those.
I love what you just said. That I want you to stay on that point for what I just said. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
Right?
Because it doesn't need to be a piss and match.
How important is that?
Because it doesn't need to be a piss and match, right?
No.
It's just a conversation around standards. And you don't have to agree.
Amen. Amen.
That's the biggest thing. You don't have to agree. Elon Musk said, I don't care.
Because there's a happy medium on both sides, right?
Yep.
Somewhere in the line, there's a common thread.
Yeah. Well, you both woke up this morning. Start from that. Right? That's what you had.
Right.
You both woke up. Start from that. Everything else is easy after that. Can we agree that we both woke up and that whatever our belief system is, that's a good thing?
That's so good. It's so good. Having standards and be able to communicate them. It may be frustrating at times, but have communication and find that medium. Because in the long run, what it ends up coming to, which I've known Brent long enough to, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we can come from both different sides, but realistically, we're talking about the same thing, maybe just in different terms.
Yep.
And it's really simple, and it's so easy just to get frustrated. Like, well, that person is because they believe in this. Well, that person, yeah, we may believe in different things, but we all want the common thing. It's to have a great life, great marriage, great relationship, a great job, great, if you have kids, it's great kids. We want all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And it could be different mindsets, but what's the middle?
Well, it goes back to chapter 3 in the Leader's Journey book. What's the mission? What's my role? And how can I change my role, or how do I need to adjust my role? Right.
Yeah.
So come to every discussion. It should be a discussion.
Yeah.
With that mindset. What's the mission? What's my role? How do I change my role or adjust my role?
And if you eat a left Twix and a right Twix, does it taste different?
I don't eat Twix.
Okay, good. Well, that's a good answer, man. I love that part. So perfect. Well, brother, I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming back and doing this. Well, you know, that's who we are, right? We're old
Yep.
guys. We still rock. We pick up the pieces where they fall, and we figure it out. Some cool things that are happening here. We've put this out to obviously it goes out to Instagram and the other social media channels, but we've also shared this independently, and we're getting some really good feedback.
Yeah.
And as always, if you have something that this hits something inside your soul that you feel that you want to contribute, do us a favor, leave a comment. Some of you have, we're greatly appreciative of this. Like, share, whatever that may be. We really love you to subscribe. You know, as we bring up that subscription level on here, we'll start doing more live episodes where you can actually call in. We do have the technology to do that. We may jumble a couple times, but we do have the technology to do that. But we really encourage you, if you're near Eugene, we can try to set up a time that you can come in and sit with Brent. If you're in California, we have some opportunities. I have another mic right here that you could come do that too, or you could just do what we're doing right now. You could tap in from anywhere in the world. We can bring you on the screen because we are 1,000 miles apart between Brent and I right now. But we could bring you on to have the discussion. Because why? Because we want to hear what's going on in your life. What struggles are you having? What wins? How are you having? How did you get out of there? How did when you're writing down your standards and you're reading them on there, how did that change your life? Because more people need to hear it. They don't need to hear Brett and I talk every day. We'll keep talking until we get it right. So, again, just super grateful for this opportunity. It's growing slowly, but that's okay with us. So, any final words from you, my man?
I'm just happy to impact one person's life in a positive way today. So hopefully I've done that for at least one person.
Amen. All right, brother. I'm going to let you get back to your world. For those people who are watching, we're going to let you get back to your world. As we always say, you know, stay safe out there. It's crazy, 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 but know that you have tremendous support in California and you have tremendous support in Eugene and wherever else you be. But don't forget, have that conversation. We both got out of bed today. That's what I'm going to leave you with. We both got out of bed today. So that means we did something similar. So until we see each other again, you guys stay safe. And most of all, God bless. Take care, guys.